this is how I knew. I was like the universe was spotting me for this because the manuscript was out in February and I was told not to expect anything like any bites by like May because it was a chunky book. Like it's historical fiction and there's world building in that. And at the time it was roughly like 119,000 words. So she's like, I don't expect anything quick on this. But 2 weeks later, my
Wow.
editor, my now editor from Erewhon was like, I need this book. How quickly can we have a meeting? And at the meeting, she's like, okay, just give me your vision. What do you see for this, final product? And I was like, all right, well, since you're asking. And I laid it all out the way I just laid it out to you guys here. Like my hope is that this can also be a way to reintroduce adult illustrated works. We're like one of the only countries really, like, or rather, I'm sorry, the Western publishing world is very much like if it's adult, no illustrations. But if you go to, Southeast Asia or China or Japan, those adult books are all illustrated. And yeah, I, I've got some if you want to see them later. But, they don't have that quibble. And part of the reason that they don't have that issue, I think, is because their culture surrounding illustrated works is not like ours. So, and of course, there's the business of, all of our American books tend to be printed off of two printers in China. And that's resources that, it tends to cost a lot more to have illustrated works printed.
Images.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Especially when you consider like paper quality and whatever. But so for Tides, keeping it monochromatic and ink, we can get away with it. Um, but yeah, so I laid out all the cards on the table and I was like, so what do you think? And she's like, I think we can do this. And she's like, just hang tight for a bit. And then she brought in the art director and it became this like team focused thing of like, how can we make this book like seriously cool? Like you're going to want to
So
get
special.
you're
Yeah.
going to want to hold the physical copy in your hand. And from that conversation, we talked about end papers. We talked about having like full color inserts and, do we want to mess with the size of the book? Do we want to have certain portions of the book written in a different ink or a different typeset to reflect the merman's POV and things like that? So I give all the props to Diana Foe and the crew at Erewhon because this is a risk. This is like they are putting a lot of production resources toward this book, and
It's
it's
so
just
exciting.
it's an absolute dream come true. What they're doing for me is insane.